I think we're gonna all pretend like all of the mistakes that just happened didn't happen as we jump into this first recording of Yaru Create. Um, this week we're focused on the pre-work that was sent out. If you're watching the recording and you haven't started the pre-work yet, then we're going to dive into the how and why of doing that pre-work. But excited to have everyone here who has started to join us. We're going to run through a quick presentation just to help people understand a bit more about Yaru Create, the pre-work, and then when we get into the how of it all, then Calvin's going to kick us off. And then after that, it's just going to be kind of discussion on what we have learned, what's been going on throughout the week as we've gone through this process ourselves here at Yaru, and other community members that you're seeing starting to hop into the screen have gone through this also. We'll round out with a Q&A if anyone has questions, and if not, then we'll kick off. And Yaru Create officially starts tomorrow, is its official first week with ideation, but more on that to come for those who have signed up. I am not allowed to share screen. That is interesting. So if someone can allow me to share screen, then I will share a screen and go through the presentation. I am now a co-host. Amazing. Thank you for that. So are we able to see the screen? Awesome.
Yes, sir.
So we're kicking off, like I said, pre-work this week. Before we get started, I want to take a second to thank our country partners, ARC Startup Accelerator in Cambodia and Comet in Laos. We're looking forward to having working more and more with your community of creators and startup folks and developers, etc., that are coming through your programs. Also, massive thanks to Kadi, fastest, lightest privacy layer in Web3, Yaru Create, and all of the activities that come from it are completely free, thanks to their support. If you would like to learn more about them, please go to Kadi.io. If you are a vibe coder, then you can go to docs.kadi.io to get started and build out kind of best of class privacy on the Kadi network. Also, thanks to Kadi, at the end of the Yaru Create, some select folks who go through the program will be invited both to participate in the Kadi Living Wage Fellowship. This is a fellowship that provides a 75th percentile salary in whichever city that you're invited in from to continue to build out interesting products and services as a creator in exchange for equity, whether it's with partners or with Yaru itself. Also, a select group of people will get invited to the Kadi Next Gen Creator Pop-Up City. That's actually going to be called the Creator Pop-Up City, which you'll see more of as we go through this project, but that will be held in January. This will be a 1 week long create-a-thon, basically inviting the top creators to come in and really help to push their products and services forward in an exotic location in Thailand to be announced. For those of you who are watching on YouTube that don't know what all of this is about, or if you've been invited to the stream, go to create.yaru.ai. More information about the program there, and you can apply at the bottom of the page to be included into the program. For those of you who are already joined and going through some of the pre-work, we have this long string here, and put it up here instead of a QR code because people will mimic the recording and put up bad QR codes that will lead you to scary places. So make sure you're going to the right Discord That should be Discord, and the ending URL should be YZ7. So the reality is that like AI has really changed who can build, and social media has changed who gets to be heard. Because of new AI tools, one person can now do in a week what used to take a team often a whole year to create. And this has given rise between both of these dynamics, AI and social media allowing who can be heard, has given rise to the creator developer, something that we started off calling next gen creators. We did get some feedback as we started doing iterations with people that next gen creators was cheesy, and we should just call these people creators because fundamentally that's what they are. Um, but why the need to put next gen creators in front of the name to begin with? And it's really a new class of kind of creator, developer, entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever you want to call them, that are really starting to launch products and services with their distribution already sorted. So some great examples, and we'll talk more about some of our favorites going forward, but some great examples of people who are quote unquote next gen creators or just creators. Underbrush Gum isn't a great example. They started off just following their journey of creating gum in guy's garage, by building up an audience and people who wanted to follow their content. They were able to get up to $2 million of sales per month, basically just building distribution around their founder stories. Another great example is All Things Butter. I encourage you all to go to TikTok and watch them. Really interesting story about a creator who was kind of doing, I don't want to say sloppy content, but from the rumors, he was creating content that wasn't exactly the best. The restaurant wasn't sure whether to continue or not. And then he started creating content about him just doing satisfying content of like mixing butter in different ways. And that started to develop an audience of people who like to watch satisfying butter videos. And they did a $2.78 million seed round, and they did about $2 million in revenue. And most of you who are perpetually online will know LC Sign out of China. They did 300% growth to 2.4 million in sales estimated just by doing kind of off the cuff cut in videos on TikTok and building a distribution audience through that kind of basic hilarious content. Then we also have people who kind of really started off as founder creators, people who started off as founders, started creating distribution afterwards. These are vibe coders, people who didn't know how to code, started using AI to build a product or service. So, you know, one of my favorites is Sabrina Ramanov, excuse me. Her estimated AR at the time that, or MMRR when we started this was 25K, 10K plus 50K in sponsored posts. She's since gone on, I believe, to sell her startup and exit for around $10 million, and continues to vibe code out and build out Blotato, which is originally a vibe coded platform that scaled to be sufficiently large enough as a solo founder that she began to hire folks to come in based off the revenue. And then Bahanu Tane also founded multiple vibe coded projects. The same, and launched about 15K in MRR, started doing a second startup, and has also developed an audience online. So we'll talk more about people who have done this, but the sort of the why behind launching and doing some of the pre-work and launching an audience, launching channels, creating content, is you're building distribution for whatever you're going to create. The next gen creators that we talk about, and again, just creators, they earn independence through visibility and trust. They build an audience while building product, and they begin to test ideas rapidly and iterate towards something that we call product audience fit instead of product market fit. So for some of you who have created a startup in the past, or have have been a founder or a solopreneur, you'll understand the word product market fit, where you start to test whether your product has legs, whether there's people out there who actually want to buy your product in the market. But I think we're going to start to see the rise of product audience fit, where we start to build audience, and it's very similar to PMF, but we're starting to market directly to an audience that we've built up by creating content, by telling our unique stories. In the past, we've seen founders go on to want to create unicorns. They serve about 0.001% of the population. They go on to create $1 billion plus companies. But I think we're going to start to see the rise of elephants. And the elephants are people who are shooting for kind of like $100,000 per year or more salary. And I think as AI begins to allow people to create more and more value, there's about 100 million of these people out there who have not been founders in the past, or maybe have founded one or two projects and are ready to take another swing at it. And now, as solopreneurs creating audience and distribution, they can target businesses that make sense for a community, sort of niche products, niche services, product and offerings that go out to a particular audience that weren't possible before, but are now possible by one person being able to use AI to create the product and service, to be able to create the content and find the distribution for that product or service. So at Yaru, we call them elephants, and you'll see that logo flashing around a lot. Yaru itself, we help people to use AI to build audience and ventures that matter. We're not going to teach you. We're going to build alongside of you. And then we share learnings openly and help to grow access to capital, customers, and community. So if you're here at Yaru Create for like a course that you're going to passively sit back and learn, this is not for you. We are going to build products and services using the latest AI tools, build distribution channels ourselves, and then bring those learnings back into a community that we're helping to curate, and then help you to gain access to that capital, customers, and community that you'll need to get properly launched. So again, you can find out more and get registered at create.yaru.ai. And with that, I think we'll kick off the conversation of what we've been doing this week in the pre-work. One thing I should mention as we go through the next 6 weeks, we're going to get you using AI as quickly as possible. And part of that is, instead of sitting here and instructing you at the beginning of the week on how to do things, we're going to send out emails and prompts in Discord and in the community for GPTs that you can use to instantly talk to AI, to start to get the checklist, to start to get the prompts, to start to get the guidance that you need to get to that next stage. And then we'll wrap up the week, as we're doing today, with kind of community live streams, where we go through the learnings that happened during that week, the best of what the community learned and brought forward in their own learnings, and then Q&As at the end of this. So as we go into this next section, we start to look at the GPTs that help us with the pre-work. This is indicative of what you're going to do each week with Yaru Create, and start learning directly with AI. We think that the best way to learn is by simply doing, and the best teachers are eventually going to be the combination of talking to AI and then learning from other builders who are kind of building this live in front of their own communities, whether that's creators like Sabrina, Nate B. Jones, other creators that we're going to mention on here, or Yaru creators. It's going to be that combination. So with that, Calvin, do you want to kick us off as one of our creators and maybe take a second to introduce yourself?
All right, so a second to introduce myself. I'm Calvin, and I'm a creator for Yaru. And basically, my story is that I started my own company about 20, 5 years ago. It blew up, so I haven't really jumped into entrepreneurship or creating my own thing. I dabbled into skills here
Does
and
that
there.
mean blew up as in like it got
Blew up,
huge,
as
or
in
blew up
it
as
went
it's on
to
fire and smoldering at the moment?
Smoldering. It went smoldering, not like it didn't rocket ship up. Let's say that. But so yeah, since then I've just been kind of collecting skills on how to if I were to start something, how do I start it? And a big a core skill, of course, is sales, being able to sell your own product. But another thing, like the reason why Joshua started Yaru Create is so that we all find the no, basically not the other part of sales, which is marketing and reaching your audience. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen here to show you guys the pre-work GPT. You guys see this?
And there will be a link below in the video description for those who want to go and work with this GPT directly.
Yeah,
Maybe you
and
can
it's
zoom in
very
a little
yes,
bit.
zoom in a little bit. Okay, there you go for the people with short-sightedness or farsightedness. All right. So GPTs are in ChatGPT. We've been told that there's there's a limit to if you're using a free account on ChatGPT. Thankfully, I have Plus, but which shouldn't be a problem. So I think the biggest hurdle is getting things started. That is like the creative block for everyone, I guess. So what this GPT does, it helps you kind of put in steps, I suppose, so that you along the way you're able to kind of find your own journey. So how do I get? As you can see, there's already some prompts that you can choose from, but let's go with something a little bit more tailored. So Sam Altman would hate that. No. Yeah. If I founded a source studio 5 years
While
ago.
Calvin's typing this out, like one thing I suggest that everybody do, and when you're working with AI, is that little microphone button right there. Like click that microphone and talk to the AI. Like you're going to get much better results because of the way LLMs are constructed, the way that they process information, to use them as a chat-based tool, because that's what they recognize as language, right? So you can click that microphone button, talk directly to the AI, and it's gonna you're gonna get faster, better results by doing that.
Audiences, of course, I also want to add in what I'm interested in. Myself, I love the gym. I like rock climbing. And what else? I like toys, especially fidget toys.
We're gonna have to
Let's
hear
go
more
with
about
this.
which ones are the best.
Oh man, I've been 3D printing a bunch. Like,
He's gonna go
Oh,
through
no.
his large wall of collections now.
Actually, there's more coming too. Right, it's being printed right now. So all right, of course, they will come up with some questions, follow-up questions for me to think through.
And with this
One.
one, Calvin, do you mind demonstrating, like, just talking this out directly on the mic instead of typing it out?
All right, interesting. Dictate. Loud. Oh, okay. I gotta read first. Okay, to build your founder story and first content, I need context to answer the question. What kind of startup do you want to build next?
But you
What's
know
your main goal?
what's interesting is you can actually, like, whenever I'm doing this, I read the questions to myself and dictate it as part of the dictation. So I will be like, what kind of startup do you want to build next? And I'll think about it for a second and talk. And it's able to, hear you ask the question, and it's smart enough to know that you're answering that question.
All right, let's see. Okay, so good to build your. What kind of startup do you want to build next? A product, service, or software? So I have a background in SaaS, and I've also sold physical products before, so that isn't an issue. I think what would be interesting is something that is, that would be satisfying for the audience to look at, I suppose, or I'm not leaning towards more education. I don't want to educate the audience as much as I want to entertain them. So it's something along that line. And what's your main goal is with creating content? To attract users, investors, or community? Let's go with users and community. Less on community. I want fans to follow me, basically. And what platforms do you already use often? So I use Instagram Reels and TikTok very often. I'm comfortable with both, but I will use TikTok. And what part of showing your work online feels hardest or most uncomfortable? I am very comfortable with posting my own stuff, good content and bad content, because I think that's okay. That part isn't a blocker for me. And 5, what's one thing you've built or learned recently that you could explain in under a minute? Let's see. You know what? I've been learning a lot about content creation and also hooks. So, that has been what I'm interested in recently. So that's it. And then it's dictated. And
yeah, it'll take a second. It'll process what Calvin just said. It normally takes, anywhere between 30 seconds to a minute. It'll process it, and then it'll dump everything that Calvin just said into the chat. It should. Did it space out and not do it?
That would be so sad if it didn't.
Processing most likely.
No.
I was just about to say that what Joshua was recommending is actually a really cool hack to use the AI tool. Like I started just walking around, going on walks, actually just talking to myself, pretending that I'm on phone calls, of course. But it was really fast and more efficient, if I may. But obviously, it's not perfect.
This is great. I think this is exactly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. It's right there.
This is exactly what we want people to see. Yeah.
Oh, my big
No, you keep typing, Calvin, very quickly, and we can keep talking as we go through. But this is exactly what we want people to see. Like, you are, like, as you're using the AI, I've had plenty of times where I come on to dictate, and then there's like an error afterwards, and I say it over again, and that's okay. But I think the most important thing to do is to go start trying, like you said, talking to it, as Bill is saying, walking around, start getting time back when you would be doing other things. So, if you want to go through this kind of first module, your pre-work, start figuring out how to create content, then go kind of push that mic button, start talking to it while you're walking around. And maybe 1 out of 10 times it's going to error out, as it did for Calvin. And that's perfectly fine. And, I think for a lot of people, and maybe we can go around this room while Calvin's typing out, but Calvin is really comfortable with creating content. When we brought Calvin into Yaru, he was already kind of a prolific content creator. But I'm not. Like, I'm older. I don't think anyone really wants to see my face or voice on video. And it's taken a lot to convince myself that this is actually something that is worthwhile doing, that's something that you should do, because it does not come naturally to me. It's not something that I get excited to do. And I think going through the pre-work is something that you can start to get the why and how in a very simple checklist for getting you started, even when you really don't want to create content. But now that we're getting some outputs.
There we go.
It's still there.
Yeah.
All right.
And talking about this, the speech feature, I use this a lot. It gives errors when you take long time to speak. If you keep your topic shorter, it works fine for me, because I'm lazy. I don't like typing, so I use a lot.
Interesting. I usually do like I have GPT on call all the time, like the conversation one, but I've never used this dictate. I usually type things out, but well, I don't know. I think that my voice just went into the ether, so who knows? But now that I answered its follow-up question, here's my 7-day starter plan. So 1, define your hook. Pick a clear theme, building fun or useful things that grab attention. Okay, so basically for my journey that it's suggesting is pretty much creating content on learning about which content I'm making and documenting the experiment, making a toy or object that captures attention, fidget spinner 2.0 style, testing viral SaaS ideas with no code tools, and or reverse engineering why a TikTok got millions of views. Analyze out loud on share a short take on what worked and what didn't. Okay, and then teach through curiosity. What if I turned this habit loop into an end? And reflect and plan for the next week. So already we have about 3 short videos, which of course you have to edit it with caption, post 1 per day or every other day. This is my personal opinion. I think everyone should be striving for at least 1 per day. And comment on 10 videos in your niche. This is very important because it not only, this is one of the ways that you're going to put yourself out there to people for example, you're doing gym content. How do you get gym people to look at your content? By being in other people's videos and commenting. And sometimes people look at your profile through that comment and then follow you from that bigger.
What does that mean, Cal? Like if you're commenting in your niche, like
in your niche. So for example, gym, right? And I'm posting gym content, and basically be part of the community that you're trying to involve yourself in. You follow Sam Sulek, for example. You follow Sam Sulek, who's a bodybuilder, and write comments every time he posts. Sometimes you have enough upvotes or likes in that post. Your comment goes to the top. People look at your profile. They might discover you from there. Basically, that's what it means.
I suppose you're also like building up relationship with those people
exactly
as well. Like you're not just showing up one day asking for some favor. Like, hey, talk about me or post or collab with me. I've showed up every day. I've commented on. You say Sam Su? Is that his name?
Sam Sulek, yes.
Yeah, Sam Su's videos, and eventually, I think after maybe 100 days of that, Sam Su starts to see, hey, this person's into my content.
I would say it's not like it. It's not very important, but it would be helpful. And but most importantly, post 1 per day. I think everyone should be striving, especially when you're starting out and learning. There's a learning curve to this. Your first 5 videos won't be amazing, and that's fine because honestly, sometimes it takes 100 videos for people for it to click and kind of understand like what makes people want to watch your video. Yeah. Content ideas that it tells me. So why people can't stop using. I would watch this. Building a product people can't put down. Interesting. What gym training taught me about product consistency? This one, I think it's a myth. But how climbing helps me debug my focus. All right, 3 design details, and building micro SaaS, testing viral hooks. What happens when you're trying to make attention of product?
And of those creating content, Calvin, like of those how many do you think are actually like decent ideas that you would want to consider implementing?
I would want to consider implementing. I would say 1, this, and building a product people can't put down. So this is like as a base idea, it's good, but as a hook, it's still not there yet. So for example, 3 design that makes fidget toys addictive. All these are good, but let's focus with why can't. So I would funnel this down a little bit more.
And I think the point that Calvin's making as he starts to type this out is, the AI is there to help you get started and to push you. So if you don't know how to create content, if you don't have ideas for where to start, then that's something that you can go and kind of follow verbatim and start that learning process. But if you're already a content creator and you know what to create and you think you have better ideas, then obviously don't blindly follow the AI. I think the AI is going to give you about 60 to 80% of what is good. And then you're going to use that learning process and use the AI's kind of checklist to get you started. So that way you can begin to understand which of those 8 ideas are right for you and which of them aren't.
Make sure also to feed it your strength, as in what are you already good at, or for instance, in the case of your startup idea or project idea, what do you already have in terms of network or skill sets you can apply directly to your content, so it can limit the output,
All
optimize
right.
for that.
Yes. So we found ourselves a hook. Boil it down. Why? So first we I asked for it to brainstorm why people can't stop using this, and it gives me different different formats that I might want, and I chose this one, but shorter and shorter. Try not to touch this. You'll want to press this, which I think this would be the winning one. I would say the hardest part is just to start. Don't overthink this too much. Basically, if you're starting off and you just follow this, this is good enough. Like, this will get you this first step, this first week will get you started, and anything else is like a skill where you can just build upon slowly and see what works, see what doesn't. Yeah.
There's
And-
also the sorry.
No, go
So
ahead.
I also went through the Yaru pre-work as well. I'm sure a lot of us have already gone through it, but for those who haven't yet, similar workflow to what Calvin was going through. I'm going to attempt to share my screen.
All right.
1 moment. I have ChatGPT here already.
Yeah.
So I had already gone through the workflow essentially. And what I found was, so Calvin comes from a background where he's actually very comfortable creating content, and he already has experience creating that content on a daily basis already with his existing channels. However, for me, it's probably similar to Joshua, where like creating content is going to be more of an uphill battle. It's more challenging. That's not it. I want to see where is my ChatGPT not able to share screen? That is weird. I will share. Sorry, give me 1 second.
You should be able
I
to.
did this. No. I'm physically able to. It's just not showing me the actual thing. All right, let me know if you see my screen.
See it?
All right, cool. So I went
Great.
through the same process essentially. I went through the same thing. I started typing it. And then as I started going through the questions, you can see this longer prompt. I literally just started reading the question and answering out the question. And I'm just going to go ahead and skip. Sorry? Yeah, this is from Dictate. So this microphone feature here. So I would just, voice out everything. And like I said already, it's quick. It's very efficient. And it also gave me the 7-day plan for myself. So what I wanted to point out was the content ideas that it suggested to me. So going back to my point where Calvin comes from a background where he's very comfortable with being on camera, creating content on a daily basis already. For me, it's a little bit more awkward. There's that ledge that I have to, there's an uphill battle that I have to get through. I have to get up that hill. Like, all right, I'll make a video. I'll record myself. I feel weird, especially like hearing myself or like talking. Sometimes it's a confidence thing. I'm sure a lot of us are gonna feel that, or maybe a lot of us do feel that. And what is suggested for me was start small and do screenshots or screen recordings, no voice, no face, of what I'm doing, and do vocal, as in like do like short takeaways. And so in notes, what I do is I just write like a 3-sentence summary of what I've found, right? And the way I got that 3-sentence, actually, this is a 30-day calendar or posting plan that it gave me. But essentially what it suggested to me was just take notes of like a 3-line, I'm not sure where it is, but like just write 3 lines. Essentially, first line is what the tool is, what it does, and what I did and found interesting, whether it was a success test or a fail test, right? And so for me, it's been working in terms of being consistent and actually being able to create content, even if it's not in the typical format like that's on the mass right now, like TikTok and stuff like that, right? But it gets me in the process or the workflow of creating content, trying things and recording it, and slowly fitting that into my day-to-day work style so that I can actually get to a point where hopefully the plan, the goal is to like actually put a camera down and start recording and you know, generate better, high quality, more efficient content that way.
Yeah, I think that segues into like something that you were talking about earlier, Calvin, when we were sitting around in the office, is that there isn't a wrong or right way of doing this. Like the purpose of creating content and what feels silly about it for a lot of people, especially me, is that like I don't know why anyone wants to hear anything that I have to say. Like I don't find it that interesting. But the reality is there will be a sufficiently large audience that will find what you have to say interesting, as long as you're being authentic about it. You're actually creating some value for the people who are coming and watching your videos. And people desperately want these connections. And we watch creators and we watch people on TikTok or Instagram, etc., that come from all different walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different ways of chatting, presenting themselves, etc., because we are trained to listen to stories and connect with people, you know, I guess from an evolutionary perspective or a biological perspective. And so regardless of how you approach the content, regardless of whether it's me that comes from, you know, founder background, I've got 2 kids, or you're Calvin, you know, throwing enough weight in the gym, or you're Robert who's doing privacy content, and Pendra who's developing, etc., there's going to be people who find that interesting, want to connect with what you have to say, and allowing yourself a sufficient runway and time and a starting point to find those people is really what getting started with the pre-work is about. Maybe Calvin, if you have some thoughts on this.
I agree, and I'll be showing some examples here afterwards. Basically, there's no one single like formula that there's no one single formula that that wins overall. I mean, some people are super successful doing a faceless page, you know. My first TikTok page that blew up is completely faceless. It's all just images. So it's as long as you're putting yourself out there, as long as you're being authentic, I think that is the key. And also there are some things that you'll have to master along the way, is how do you get people's attention. That will be the game that you'll have to play. Yeah. How you present yourself, and how you present your content, how you edit your content is secondary to the fundamental, which is how to get people to stay on watching your video. Yeah.
And you know, the opportunity that I think a lot of people don't think about is if you go onto TikTok and create, and like it sounds ridiculous, you could create an image of your desk and put it up on TikTok with some words over the top, and you're almost guaranteed to get at least 200 views because of the way the algorithm works. There's never been a point in history where you can go and post content and have a 200 member audience so easily. Now, it's not sure yet that those 200 people are the right audience, but you have a highly effective algorithm that's going to help you to find that out and tell you when you're getting it wrong. So if you post a desk photo and you go on to post 1,000 desk photos and you start to see you're getting 1,000 views, 2,000 views, people are starting to engage with your content, etc., then you found your desk audience, and maybe it's time for you to start selling desks. I don't know, or whatever's on your desk that's driving them to
Desk
be there,
review.
like fidget toys.
Yeah.
I
Go
have
ahead, Pendra.
I have a story here, because like approximately 3 years ago, I thought, let's learn the Rust language. As I'm a developer, I thought that's going to be powerful language. And to be committed, I started a YouTube channel. Whatever I learned, I'm going to tell and talk about it. Just go and talk about it. And people start connecting with it, because I was talking in the original language, trying to create stories to remember it and to connect the language, because that's kind of a difficult language, with the easy one, and how we can connect it and how it's similar and what's the difference. And I just created this channel for my use case to be committed there. But I start seeing like people and the students start connecting with me, like I like your way of talking, and could you explain this topic too? Could you explain this topic too? We just started for the 2 and 3 videos for the commitment, and I kind of created 100 videos on it's just because public asked me to create, and I start gaining the audience from it, from 100 to 1000 to 5000. I start getting the views. So it was 3 or 4 years ago, and then I was not able to continue that. But I have seen that, like, no editing skill. I just go share my screen, started explaining what I have learned, what the starter type according to me. I started creating stories, and I think the audience like me uh, start connecting it, liking it, the way of talking. Not much of the audience, only 5000 people or 1000 2000 people, but they were connecting. So, and they coming with the ideas like create for that and explain this and all. So uh, now if you go and create, like I created a hour video, the length of the video was 1 hour, but if you start creating shorter video, you can easily get 5000 10,000 views.
Yeah, I think it's like a really good indicator of why of this, why you should build an audience, is that it's all YouTubers right now. It used to be like a new thing 10 or 15 years ago, but they're one of their main source of revenue is merch sales. Even if their merch is just a t-shirt with their YouTube channel on it, people would still buy it, because they're not really buying the product itself. They're buying the like showing support to the creator, to the YouTuber. Yeah.
Connection.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
that
definitely a
connection.
connection.
Parasocial.
What are some of the, just to give people ideas, I think for those who are already like, familiar with founder stories and this type of creator content, we don't need to, tell them much more. But for those who are coming on and don't really have an idea of what to create, like, I'm just curious in the room, like, who are some of your favorite creators and who would you point people to? And we'll be sure that we drop all these links into the description below on YouTube and into Discord. But yeah, who are some of your favorite? I've already mentioned Sabrina Ramanov, amazing AI content. Go follow her. Love her. Who were you going to say, Calvin?
Can I share your mind?
Yeah,
I got him.
Please do.
All right. Okay. So this is my favorite at the moment. Sharing my screen. I have a few. So this guy is awesome. He's Kevin, but basically what he does, his day job is he works at an oil field, and yeah, he would just post like these off the cuffs. Even his in the description it says raw and poorly edited. It's basically him on a voiceover sometimes and just talking about him coming back from the oil field, the people that he meets, or just regular life stuff. And on the side, he's building a gym brand, which funnels from his 482K followers into, okay, all right, that's more of his. There we go. Onto his clothing brand, which has 30K, 35K followers. Yeah.
Very cool. And so he's selling his founder story on his own channel and then driving those to his channel.
to his merch, to his gym clothing brand.
All right, I'm going to put everybody on the spot then. Who are you following and why are they interesting? Like, Will, who's a creator that you're watching and into at the moment, and why?
So I'm trying to find the channel right now. I follow a lot of people, but he's known as the Cabbage Guy. And so essentially he's literally a trash truck driver, and his lunch every day, his lunch, he records himself eating his lunch, and his lunch is one big ball of cabbage, and he eats it like it's a burger, right? And so initially, I guess it was one of the trends from the past of how these founders sort of started. He was a part of that group of trends of founders that started it. And so literally it's the same video every day, ASMR of him chewing into this crunchy cabbage. And essentially over time, he's built sort of like, not really a cabbage brand, but like sauces that you could eat with like salads, like different toppings, like bacon bits and stuff like that. And it kind of falls in line with like the butter guy that you were suggesting, that you shared earlier. It's just these niche products that you would never in a million years think to remake in a world. You wouldn't reinvent the wheel in the modern world, but these guys are able to do that. And it's one of the reasons why I follow him. He's very interesting. And he's still a garbage truck driver still, with over almost 1.5 million followers on TikTok already. He's still driving a garbage truck. Like it's genuine. It's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, we met a kid when we were with our country partner ARC. We were in Phnom Penh about a week ago, and the kid was 17 years old, and he had built. His name was Sun, and he had built a channel called Sun's Buns, and he went and created a hamburger brand and had an exit for $30,000, which was pretty huge, for being 17 years old. Retained 50% of the brand. The person who bought him out is turning it into a franchise, and he did all creating just really like fun videos of Sun making hamburgers. Good old Sun's Buns. It's amazing.
Nice.
Oh, is this? Yeah, fantastic. And he went from being 17 years old, wanting to prove that he could create a business and no money, no startup capital, etc., to exiting, like I said, at 17 years old. Pretty amazing. And he did that off of not that many videos. So I think the point is, whatever it is that you are into, that you're trying to create, even if you think it's too niche, it's not. Like, the market is huge. And the number of people, like, we don't understand, our minds don't allow us to understand how many people are on these apps and how many people actually have money that they're willing to use to buy products and services that allow them for some type of connection to the people that they find interesting. Even if that is for a season in their life, even if it's just something that they find funny for a moment. But there are a growing number of Calvin fans, of Robert fans, of Will fans, and anybody who's going through Yaru Create. Even if you don't think that there's a right audience for you, there 100% is. So,
can I lead that up into talking about platforms a little bit? So, in terms of platforms, there's, again, no wrong answers, because as long as you're posting, you are actively looking for your audience. What that audience is, who knows yet, right? But basically, post. You can try Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and even LinkedIn. Because I do have an example of a good LinkedIn founder story, and this is from Singapore. Basically, a Singaporean fried chicken brand, and Nabil started this from zero, and he pretty much promotes just his chicken on LinkedIn, and he's managed to grow it it's been many years. He started it at like 2021. Yeah. So whatever it is,
audience on LinkedIn. Amazing.
Yeah. So he also got investors from LinkedIn as well. So yeah, and numbers are esoteric. What does it matter if it's like 10 million people watch your video, but they're not converting compared to like 1,000 that are converting, So, yeah. Well,
also, if I could chime in on that, Calvin's point, another thing I want to urge is like explore don't just like say, okay, I want to try TikTok just because like everyone else is on TikTok. The reason why I say that is, so before I did join Yaru, I also tried to attempt daily videos at one point. Another creator that I followed once was Daily Hubs. He was a 9 to 5 type content creator. He literally just filmed himself all day. I thought it was the most simplest way to get yourself out there. But it was not simple, by the way. But the reason why I approached to doing that is because I had issues with like talking on camera, etc. This basically got me over that because I was able to record myself, no problem. I don't care. I don't mind recording myself. It was just a talking bit. And so this was just no talking, recording my day-to-day, like what my daily life was. And sorry, the whole point of this is your performance on different platforms might be different. So for example, when I was exploring the daily videos that I tried to mimic off of him, he was doing, of course there's a vacuum now. He was mimicking, I was mimicking his videos. I attempted it on TikTok and it did horrible. Compared to it on Instagram, I got an average of like 1,000 views. I showed Calvin this, and just the point is just to explore and try multiple platforms. Don't just lock yourself into one, because one might perform better and it might be worth doubling down on that platform, for example.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure which platform to start, this is also something that the GPT that we're talking about, it will suggest for you platforms to get started. Now, that does not mean that that's where your final audience is going to reside, but it will give you that starting point and a place to start trying, start iterating.
Yes. And there, I would also say that there will be there is a good fork where you will have to choose which one to focus on, because speaking from experience, it's very hard to try to cater to both audiences at the same time. It's like, yeah, sure. For example, you're trying to satisfy Coca-Cola drinkers and Pepsi drinkers. They're both soda, but they are different, completely different taste profiles. Yeah.
Yeah, and even if the follow-up might be high conversion, you have to think about, okay, maybe there's more editing time involved for those specific platforms.
Yes.
There's other factors at play to optimize your output.
Yeah, but definitely don't overcomplicate it to start. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're coming up on the hour. We'll see if there's any questions, but kind of recapping and in kind of true Yaru fashion, we've intentionally waited to put up posts on Yaru's own channels until we've gone through this first week as a team. And so I think the exercise for anybody who is watching, who hasn't started going through the teamwork or the pre-work, excuse me, is to do two things. One is to go to the GPT, give it information, start talking to it, get your checklist, get your starting point. And then the next thing is, you will see all of our videos in Discord. Go create a video today. Don't wait. Even if you think it's bad, it's not bad. It's definitely not worse than millions of videos that go up every minute, just about, on these social platforms. Go and create something and start the learning process. Also, go to Discord, post it there, and get feedback from all of the other people who are going through the community. I just checked. We're up to 12 different countries that are participating. We haven't even really announced. We did a very soft launch using just very basic content. And we have 12 different countries who are represented in Yaru Create, people from Thailand, Spain, Cambodia, the US, Norway, Brazil, the UK, Switzerland, Israel, Nigeria, China, Laos, and Ireland. So go and start posting. Someone in the Discord community will give you feedback. And also you'll have an instant audience if you share your channels. Make sure that they know that you're part of Yaru Create, and you'll have people coming and commenting and posting on your videos. But all of us will go post our video there today, and we'll start to see Yaru's own channels begin to be populated with all of your stories and our own.
Well, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I had a question to follow up with that, Joshua. So I'm sorry, I move around a lot, and I wanted to know where. So I actually have a video of myself that I tried out. It's probably not the best, but I'd like to also share it. Where in the Discord can I share that? Is it in just in the introductions
feedback.
or anywhere? Peer feedback.
Yes. I have it open.
Yeah.
Here. So
Okay,
sharing
cool.
my screen.
So it's the one with the little magnifying glass icon. I can see that.
Yes, peer feedback. And
Perfect.
I also post mine already, first post. And
Oh,
sure
wow.
to,
I didn't see that.
be
Yeah,
sure to
I
follow
actually
Go at
learned
Yapping.
some. I've been working next to Calvin for like 2 months now, well over 2 months, and I learned something about Calvin from his founder story content. It was really good, Calvin.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Brilliant. We'll stop there. Do we? Anybody in the audience have questions? And if so, you can turn on your cameras, and if no one from the audience does, anyone from the team.
No, I'm super excited. Oh, I'm excited to see what everyone makes.
Brilliant. Well, that wraps up our pre-work for Yaru Create. Next week, we start Ideate. For those who have already signed up and been accepted into the program, you will receive an email with instructions to the next GPT and the next exercise. As we go through Yaru Create, you'll be reminded in emails and in notifications in Discord. But just because you finished pre-work week 1, you should continue that process of creating content. Again, if you haven't received it yet, go down and click in one of the links in YouTube or wherever you're watching this, and go to the GPT, get started. Again, go to create.yaru, that's yaru.ai. Get signed up, and we'll make sure that you have all the instructions in your videos, and you'll be able to join each week. Starting next week, these will be live instead of recorded, and you'll be able to join live and bring in your own experiences and your own stories.
Awesome.
That was a really cool session.